Can everybody put their names in the chat so that we would know who attended the meeting? Okay. Okay, fantastic. So I am going to, is the ED there? Mr. Miller, are you there? Yes, yes.
Yes, good morning. I'm here, Elena. I'm here.
Okay, great. Okay, so I'm going to just go through the process as to today's session, okay? Let me share my screen. And I'm going to walk you through today's program, okay? So this was shared with you not too long ago, and I'm going to walk you through what the outline of the program is today. So first, I'm going to show you how to log into the platform. We're going to view your in-basket menu items and look at your the number of in-baskets that you have. I'm going to show you how to use the system to collaborate with colleagues, how to assign officers to cases, how to reclassify cases, how to utilize response buttons, how to store and retrieve documents from the case as needed, understand case properties and how to use case properties, show you if you have multiple in baskets, how to use your multiple in baskets, look at the case stage tracker and status updates, look at the document management features and functions, look at the annotate document feature and functions, look at case folders. Then we go into some more management functions of reassigning cases, adding comments directly to cases, delegating work, looking at milestone notifications, and then some other stuff in terms of visualization of the case, looking at audit trails, looking at creating a package of all case documents, and then doing some searches, standard and ad hoc searching, okay? I also sent a feedback form. So at the end of the meeting, you can complete the form and send to Sean, or you could send back to me directly. Okay, everybody is clear as to the approach?
Clear.
Okay, great. So I'm going to start at this step here where you will log in and to access it. In order to log in, you just put in the username and password that you normally use to log into your Windows system, right? Let's suppose it is Kevin. Let's log in, and the system will come up, right? I'm going to go in here as the ED, because I'm going to sort of start, I'm going to do the training by walking you through some of the processes that you use in executing the management of the complaints process, while at the same time demonstrating how to use features and functions of the system, right? So this is your in-basket menu. To the left here, you will have two in-basket options. You have your role in basket option and your my work in basket option. This will become a little more evident as you go along. If you're acting as a role, the cases will come to whoever plays a part in that role. But if the work is assigned directly to you, to your name, then it will go to my work in basket. All right. And this here is the in-basket menu item. So all the cases will land in here. And here you can see the step name, meaning what step the case is at. So here's that case assessment. This is the transaction number. This was submitted via the portal, and therefore this is the transaction number automatically generated. As you can see, there's some intelligence in this number. It's competition division, the year, the actual date, and the number of complaints submitted to the competition division today. So the 29th, 12 have been submitted thus far, okay? So this is automatically generated. This here is the complaints type, respondent name, informant name, and the date the complaint was received, and the date it was created. Okay, so now, when you click on this button here, the case will open, right? And once the case opens, you will see everything that you're supposed to see in the case. So from here, you will see all the case details that was submitted on the portal, and all of these properties, these are called case properties, will automatically populate here on the left, right? So here you can see you have case information, the respondent information, and you can update this at any point in time, the informant information, etc., right? At this step here, the ED is going to assign an officer to work on the case. So, but before the ED does that, the ED will go here and update some basic case properties. So in order to update case properties, for example, you click on this item here, and this is a choice list. Does the case have merit? Yes or no? So the ED will do this, yes or no. We're assuming yes. And say the priority is, let's say, high. So these two properties are mandatory. If ED was to move on using a response button, then the system would default to here so that this would be populated. Okay. Here, ED has to assign an officer. So what I'm going to show you is that the ED is going to assign the officer. So here, the ED will left click on here, and a dialog box will open. And they say you can select the name of the officer he wants to assign. So let's suppose it was Michelle. He can type in a couple letters. Michelle shows up here, all the Michelles. You can select the Michelle he prefers, arrows to the right, and click OK. And that is how you assign an officer to the case. The system defaults on senior legal counsel as the supervisor for this, but if ED wants, he can change this to competition bureau chief in the event that the senior legal counsel is not present. Okay, so once this is all done, the ED will proceed to do a number of things, and these are your response buttons. ED can proceed to case screening, assign to his exec to do something, address and resolve himself. He can reassign the submission type, or he can actually liaise with the respondent and the informant directly, or indeed dismiss the case. If ED determines that prima facie that this really is not a complaint, but it could be a request for advocacy, request for information, mergers and acquisitions, or authorization, you can actually switch this here and reassign the submission type. But we don't want to do that. We want to leave it as competition complaints, and then he will send it on. Yeah. So here, ED is now going to proceed to case screening. So let's go. Once I click here, the case is going to go to Michelle. Now I'm going to go in here as Michelle. I put in Michelle. Michelle will log in. Of course, this is not all happening in real time like it's happening now. So Michelle will log in as she would do every day. And as you can see here, there are 2 in-basket menu items for Michelle. In her role as a legal officer, there are no items, but the ED assigned this directly to Michelle. So you can see here, there's 1 item in her in-basket. Here she will see case screening. This is what's supposed to happen. This is the stage at which it's at. She'll see the tracking number, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? Now, if you can click on this, and know that the ED would have assigned this case to her. So her job, of course, is to proceed to do the case selection criteria, et cetera, perform the case screening. I am not here going to discuss the actual work that Michelle is going to do whilst performing the case screening. I'm going to show you how she can use the features and functions of this tool in order to assist her in performing her task, right? So here, Michelle would have a number of response buttons. She can submit to the supervisor for review. She can request clarification from ED. She can proceed to case closure here. Oh, there's another response button here. Recommend consultation from NDAs. I'll ask you about these 2, if this is relevant at this stage or if we need to remove this, okay? But before I do that, I'm going to show you how to collaborate with colleagues. So Michelle, in processing this case, she will go and she will look at the respondent here. Here she may need to update some information here, fax number, respondent parish. Is there a city? She may want to update the city, or she might change the parish here from Portland to Kingston, right? She might want to update. There may be more principles associated with this respondent. So she may want to put in principle 1, principle 2, principle 3, et cetera, right? She might put in multiple principles in her case screening, update that, right? She will need to go and she may need to put in more information on the informant if missing. So for example, telephone number, fax number, district, right, parish, right? And post office, right? Okay, and she can put in stuff on case information. Yeah. And she can update the case information here, right? So here she can either submit to her supervisor for review or continue. So here we're going to say that she's prima facie saying that there is a breach, right? Breach identified, yes. Breach category. Now, I'm not going to show you that yet. Yes, I can. Breach category here. What I need to show you is that because the breach category has the potential for multiple values, the way you update this property is slightly different. Here you click on this, and it gives you a separate dialog box where you can add the plus sign. This gives you the option to do a multi-value property, more than one. So if you have more than one breach category, for example, the breach category is a market restriction, right? And then you want to add another one, and you want to see here was price fixing. I don't know if those 2 conflict with each other. And you want to do another one. Let's suppose all 3, right? You can add 3 different breach categories to this, to the breach type, right? Breach category. You can have more than one, and that's how you do it. You use a plus feature to add more than one. If you wanted to remove this, suppose you did this in error, then you can click there and you can remove it. And if you did this in error, then you can click there and remove it. And then now you end up with 1, right? Click OK, and it's done, right? Okay, so now if you put the breach section here, if you put the breach section here, you can add in here, if it's multiple breach sections similarly, or one, you do here, and you add the breach section manually. So you might say section 2, subsection 1. Oh, and if there was another section, you can add it here to the breach section. Okay, right. And now, if Michelle will have to do prima facie if the case appears to have merit or not. Yeah, good. Now she will go into the case comments and she can put in a comment. Now she can put in a comment to, for example, her supervisor to say, whatever she tells her supervisor, this is how you add case comments. Click there. Once you add a case comment, the case comments are stored in the case and it will show you, it will keep a receipt, a stamp, and a date of the name of the person who made the comment and the time. Okay, and she clicks close. So that's how you add case comments. That's how you update property. And that's how you update multi-value property, right? Now, she's now going to use one of her response buttons. And the purpose of the response button, called response or decision buttons, allows you to push this case into another person's in basket or move this step along in the workflow to the next step automatically. So here, Michelle can submit to supervisor for review. She can liaise with the ED, or she can recommend cancel. I'm not sure if these two are right, so we can come back to that at a later stage, okay? To see if these two are relevant here or should be removed. Now we're going to submit to supervisor for review. Here is a validation telling me that in order to move on, Michelle has to put in some level of comments and findings when submitting to the supervisor for review. So here she's forced to go here and she has to put in some level of findings, right? So the comments in here is not sufficient, breach found. Here she's required to put in some level of comments and findings, right? Okay, so it appears to validity, found, see, whatever you're required, right? Okay, now we're going to do submit to supervisor for review. Now you're submitted to the senior legal counsel for review. The case leaves her in basket, as you can see, it's gone, and it's now gone on to the SLC. Okay, so now SLC here, right? SLC, you come in here. And here is the case, all right? Here's the case. And the SLC will have her in basket, right? And she will see the in basket menu items as is, and she will click on this, right? And she can review the comments that was made by the legal officer, as you can see there. She can see the comments and findings. She can see the case selection criteria information that may have been populated by the legal officer. And she can submit her feedback to the legal officer. Or she can go directly to the ED to liaise with the ED. So let's say she's going to push this back to the legal officer. Here she will put, okay, proceed to so add and close, and she will submit her feedback to the officer. So this is the warning that you get in just validating and warning you that you should put in your comments, right? So you put in your comments, and the case will go back to the legal officer. Here's the legal officer. As you can see, the case comes back into her My Work in basket, and she will pull up the case again, and she will proceed to continue, because as reviewed the comments made by this SLC, and you can see here, SLC, Susan Sims said, proceed to TSM, technical staff meeting, right? So she can close, she doesn't have to say anything, or she can say stuff. And then here, she can now prepare the case selection criteria document and review, add any more documents to the case, or she could have reviewed the document submitted by the informant prior to proceeding, all right? So now I'm going to show you how to work with adding documents to the case and retrieving documents from the case as needed, okay? In order to add a document to the case here, so this is a form, this is a template, right? That's added here so that the legal officer can populate this form. So I'm going to show you now how to use forms, how to use documents, how to manage documents in the case. So this is a template that was automatically generated here, which is called the case selection criteria form. The legal officer can right click on this when using documents and forms in a placeholder attachment. This is called a placeholder attachment, and it's placed here so that anybody coming next to use the case has direct access to it. It's not buried down here where you'll have to go and look for it. It's not here where you scroll down trying to find where the case is, okay? Where the document is, it's up here. So she can right click on it. She can preview the document. Right? So I can show you, once you preview the document, you can adjust the size of your screen so you can see more of the document. Right? So she can preview the document and update the document and see what's there. She can, so let me move this back. She can, let me get some more space there. She can download the document to work on it. So let's suppose you have to prepare the case screening report, and she's not going to do that in a preview mode. She's going to download the document and populate it in Word. So she can click on download, and the document will be downloaded here and show up, and she can work on it in Word form. Right? You can right click here again. She can actually, once it's created, she can remove this attachment and add a new attachment, right? Or she can print the document directly from here. Let's suppose she said, you know what, I want to print this and work on it. She can click print, and my system needs to be configured. She can click print and work on it right there, right? Or she can actually left click on this document. And when you left click on the document, you get the option to actually annotate the document. So here's the option where she can annotate the document, right? Okay. There it is. And from here, you can go in here and view this document. And we just show this out here. Give it some more room. Give it a second to show up to annotate. there are multiple features and functions. Okay. So in addition to that, Michelle can store multiple documents in the case folders down here. So if you go down to the case folders down here, you will see that this document was submitted from the portal. So there's a transcript of what was submitted on the portal that's also stored in here. So whilst all the properties that was populated in the portal automatically populate all the case properties here, a transcript is converted to PDF, and you can actually see everything that was submitted on the portal here. So you can see this transaction transcript. If I right click on this and preview this, you can actually see everything that was submitted by this informant from the portal. But this is a transcript of what was submitted, right? So you can right click and you can see that. In addition, there were other documents. There were the warranty documents submitted. So you can click on the warranty document. Here, you can annotate it. So all those annotation abilities come up, right? Let me move this a little bit so you can get some more room. So if you right click on it, you can preview. If you left click on it, you can actually do some annotations here. You can actually print directly from here. If I click here, I can prepare file, I can print, right? One or all, I can click prepare file or print, or cancel. I can switch to standard or annotation mode, right? And here I can save this to redact as a new document or local file. So you can actually go in here and do some redaction to this document so that if you want to keep some aspects of the document redacted, you can actually do that by selecting redaction mode. Okay, so you have the ability to annotate, redact stuff directly from within the system. Okay, you can, all right. So I'm going to move from here, and if she can now proceed to the technical staff meeting. So she can put in all well and proceed to the technical staff meeting, or just close and proceed to the technical staff meeting. So click, you're proceeding to the technical staff meeting. So now the case goes on to the technical staff meeting. Okay, so now we're going to log in as FLC. And I want to show you a couple of things here. For a couple of the roles, specifically the managers, but specifically for the managers is going to have more than one in basket. Hang on, let me move this zoom around. Right? We have with the managers have the senior managers, we give them 2 in baskets. Okay, this apart from my work is the role, my work, and then we have a joint in basket for SLC and CBC if they're playing so that they can get documents in parallel, right? So for example, specific steps, the CBC and the SLC can either or work on a case. So here we have the option for either one to actually take this case. Once they start working on it, then it will go into their my work in basket. Right? So let me click on it. So here, the technical staff meeting will we use this step and we move this around. We use this interface here to actually have the technical staff meeting. So of course, this is going to happen outside of the case in your boardroom or whichever room you're going to do this. And based on the outcome, you'll have to populate these properties, right? So here, I'm going to show you once again how to assign the officers and how you have multiple in-basket menu items, okay? So here, of course, you're going to assign the officers. So we're going to assign head of investigation here, and we're going to assign Susan, who is the senior legal counsel. Arrow across. Right, so here we have the outcome of the technical staff meeting, okay? So either CDC or SLC can perform this role. So here we assign it, so we're assigning all the members of the investigative team for this investigation to proceed. So here we have the head of the investigation is Ms. Susan Sims, lead investigator. So in order to do this, click on this. You can just put in M to search. Michelle Phillips. Arrow to the right. Select OK. You see, Michelle is assigned as the lead investigator. Legal officer. Legal officer is Michelle as well. So the lead investigator is always a member of the team. So Michelle. Competition analyst, here we will have that's right. And then research officer. As you can see here, all the members of the investigation team has been selected. Scroll down. The head of this investigation program here also has to put in the date of the investigation when it's going to start. So let's just assume it starts today, right? And you have to put in the outcome of this technical staff meeting, which is right, whatever you put in. So after your deliberation, whatever the outcome of the deliberation is, you can plug it in there and then proceed to the application, right? Now here is something. If at the outcome of here, you were going to click proceed to closure because you determined that the case is not valid, that there is no breach, and you want to proceed to case closure here, if you go to click on this button, you will have to assign an officer to close the case. They will assign either the same officer who performed the case screening or a different officer can be assigned here. So if you click here, you'll be forced to put that in. But if you choose proceed to investigation, you'll be forced to select the investigation team members. Okay. So once I click proceed to investigation, the case will now showcase the date of the investigation, the start of investigation, who is the head, all the members of the investigation team, and then you click proceed. So the case now leaves the basket of the senior legal counsel and goes to the legal officer. And the legal officer now will proceed to prepare the investigation plan, right? What you can see here, the case now has moved from case origination to case assessment to case screening, case selection and technical staff evaluation, and is now into case investigation. So this tracker, this process tracker, keeps you notified and updated as to the stage of the case and what's happening. And when you click on each one of here, so if you click here, it'll tell you when the case was started. It will tell you when this stage was completed and how long it took from start. So if here the case started, and of course, this is not going to happen in minutes, this will happen in days and weeks. So here you would see, if you click on the left, it will show you that this task or the stage has been completed. It was started on the 29th at 11:58 a.m. And this was completed, in real time. Case assessment, it took 13 minutes, right, from the start time. So this is now a tracker giving you a clear indication as to how the case is progressing by date and time, just by clicking on the stage. Here, case screening, it's 18 minutes from start time. Technical evaluation, 5 minutes, time spent 5 minutes, right? So you can see how long the stage took and when it was completed. So if that stage took 4 weeks, it'll show here, and then when it was completed from when it started. And now we're into investigations, right? Okay, so now what I want to show you is here. I want to show you some document management features, right? Here. So after all the users go and prepare all the components of the milestone, the lead investigator will come in here and upload the prepared milestone report. So you're going to click on it, pull up the milestone report, and add it to the case. So what you have to do, you just click on here, add the report you want to upload, and then select it from where you have it stored. Now, once this milestone report is here, there's the option for multiple parties to collaborate on it. And here you can also now have version history and tracking on this document. So if you wanted to ensure that you maintain the integrity of these documents, you can check this document out, check out and download, or check out only. So you check out and download. You can work on your seat here. You can work on it, make your changes, whatever. As you can see here, there's a lock on this document. So if somebody goes in, you can see that it was checked out by M. Phillips, and they're working on it. So this will prevent anybody editing the document while Michelle is currently editing the document. And you can see there's a lock here showing that. Once Michelle finishes editing this document, everybody else can view the document. Whilst Michelle is editing it, but they will just be viewing the latest published version of the document. So once Michelle is finished editing, she can right-click and she can check the document back in. You have to locate the change document that she did, if she made any changes to the document here, and she checks it back in. Once Michelle checks it back in, you can go and look, and you click on the properties of the document here. You can see, and you click on the version history, you can see that the document was first released at this time, and it was superseded at this time. And if you click on this, you can actually see what was done in this document. So the integrity of each version is maintained. Also, you don't have 10 or 20 or 30 versions going around. You just have one version of the document, and the history is stored here, right? You can look at the properties of this specific document. You can download this document. You can send an email of this particular version of the document as well, right? You can also go in here and you can look at the actual properties of this document. And when you look here, you can click on the properties and you can see when it was modified, who created it, when it was modified, et cetera, right? You can also look at the security of this document. Now, the system affords you a significant level of security. So let's suppose the owner of this document can prevent others from using this document, from seeing this document at all. So here you can see, if you click on this here, hover, you can see these are the different levels of security associated with the document. Here you can delete the document, edit the document, and you can only view the document. So you have ownership rights, or you have minimal rights where you can only view the document, or you can't view the document at all. So for example, here you have these users have no access. You can put no access, you can have reader access, you can have author access, and you can have owner access. And if you wanted to remove these users from here, remove, just put the X, and you could change permission on it. So you can just click on it and you say, you know what? I want to make this person own no access or reader access or not. If I say no access, and I say, okay, then I can say, delete this document from their view, or what deny them from doing all of these things. So I can click on it and show what access is no access. I can allow them to delete or not delete, allow them to edit properties, allow them to view the document or not at all. So any user who has the right security privileges have the ability to edit the security on the document. So if you know you're working with a confidential document and you don't want anybody to see it, then you can go in here and select the users who can see it or who can't see it. So you can say, you know what, I only want, say, Susan. I only want Susan to be able to see this document. Let's just say, or, so I arrow across, or Susan and Edie, all right? That's it. Let's suppose I only want Susan and Edie to be able to view this document because this document is highly confidential. Then you can remove these people, remove this user, and then you can click here and give Susan what level of permissions she could have on this document. So you can click here and you can say, okay, what access she can have on this document. No access or just reader access. If you click reader access, that's all she has. No access, you can schedule what you can select. You might say only view only access or not. Or you might be, let's say it's Edie and you want to make owner. So you can give them the ownership rights where they can change, they can edit the document or whatever, or not at all. All right. This is where you can apply security permissions directly at a document level. All right. So let's go save. And also here, so we did preview. We did download, we looked at the properties, we looked at checkout and check-in. Also, if you wanted to prepare a document here and to send it to the respondent on the informant without having to exit the case to go to your email. If you want to send emails, liaise with different parties external to the department, you can go here and send the email directly. So you can choose one of the documents, send the email directly here, either as a link or as an attachment. Now, we can restrict this by user. So if it is that you only want specific users to have this privilege, then the system can be configured as such. So if you think it is more of a risk to have you give users the ability to send emails directly from the case, we can remove this privilege. But if you think that it affords users flexibility so that they can liaise with respondents and informants effectively, then they can create like a response letter to the informant, give them a due date, and just click as an attachment here. You put in from, so let's suppose it's from Michelle Phillips. I don't know her email address, so I'm putting it there too. And you put in the subjects, right? Whatever is option against informant, you put in the message here and you click send. So it attaches the document and you send it and it goes straight to the informant. And when it comes back to you, You can add it to the case and add it to the correct case folder. All right. So here, if you wanted to have, for example, a folder for only liaison with informants or liaison with respondents, you can add a folder here, and you could call the folder respondents or letters to respondents. You can add here, and you can see it here, letters to respondent. So all the letters that you have to the respondent, you can store in here. So you can store all the letters to the respondent and save it in there. So anybody wants to come, you have all the letters to the respondent in there, et cetera, et cetera. All right. I wanted to add a document from the repository, for example, add a document. So I can add a document from the local system. Or if I wanted to add a document from research, I know the document and say, you know what? I want to add a document from the entire repository. It's not in this case, but I would like to add a document to this case. You can actually go in here and search the repository, the entire repository of all the documents. Here you can see it has to do with, let me get a new search, right? New search. And I believe it has to do with, let's say, financial statements or audited financial statements for some entity. Well, that's all I remember. Let me do a search. You can see, okay, in the system, there are tons of audited financial statements for whatever. So this has nothing to do with this case. This is in your document management repository. And you can select this here and you can, hold on. Give me a second, let me move this around. Okay. It opened, so the document opened. So I selected the document open, right? This is it here. The document open, the one I selected. I can download it if I want. I can print it directly from here. If I said, you know what, let me print it from here. I go straight here, so that's downloading it and saving it, right? So it's saving it from the repository. I can save it, cancel. Or I can print directly from here, right? Go here and print it. Or I can go here and I can say, I want to annotate on it, or I want to see the properties. I want to see everything about it. And if it's more than one document here, there's a navigation bar that allows me to navigate between all the pages of the document here, right? Let me move this. Minimize. Good. So now that's if I wanted to use that document. If I didn't want to use that document, I just wanted to reference it, right? I can add a reference to the document, or I can go and find a different search. Let me move this around, right? I can do a different search. I can do a different search and I can search in different documents and bring it back. All right, I logged out. Let me log back in. So any questions so far? Any questions?
Not yet, Elena. Or
Okay.
maybe when you're through.
Okay.
Yeah, none here.
Okay, so here, I can also show you that you can have, not only you can have the regular view, or you can have a magazine view. And throughout all the documents, you can have magazine view, and the magazine view will show you when the document was edited or modified or right? So this is basically the document management features and functions of the system, as well as not only in the case here, but in the entire platform, all right? Okay, so now I think I'm going to close here and show you some more management functionality, all right? I close here and show you some management functionality. So let's suppose Michelle was off or Michelle knows that she's not going to be available tomorrow, Michelle can go in here, right click on this case and reassign this case. You can reassign this case by clicking on it. She can hear, let me reassign this case to a different legal officer. And, or she can say, you know what, I got to reassign this case to my supervisor because I'm not going to be available. So she just puts in the supervisor, selects it there, selects her supervisor, say okay, and reassign the case. But I don't want to reassign the case. I'm just showing you how to reassign the case. Okay. Also, if for example, the supervisor came in here and didn't want to open the case, knew what this case is about, and just wanted to quickly put in a comment, you can actually just right click on it, put in a comment in the case, say, will be out of office today. Proceed to X, Y, Z, right? And add, and the case will show up. And the property will automatically show up in the comments without you having to actually go into the case. All right. Now here, this is your preferences file. Here, if you wanted to be notified, you put in your email address here for a number of different things. So, and you wanted to be notified when a new work item is assigned to your in basket. So whenever work comes to you, you can turn on your notification so you're automatically notified. If a deadline is passed, you can turn it on so you will know a deadline is passed. If a deadline is near, if you turn it on, if a milestone is reached, you turn it on. Here's getting a little more, if a step deadline, so this is a little more involved if you want to have more and more notifications, but you can look and see, do I need all of these notifications? And you can turn them on and off depending on the level of how informed you would like to be. Also, if you know that you're not going to be in office for the next 2 weeks, or you're going to be, on vacation, etc., you can then delegate your work to someone else. So you can pair. So this is your your future work that hasn't come to you yet would be delegated. So here you would go and select here. You can choose to whom you want to delegate your work. So let's suppose this is, if this was Susan and she wanted to delegate it to Edie, you can select Edie and say add, and the work will be delegated to Edie. That's her future work, right? But work inside your in basket, if you have work in, so you have 10 items here, or you want to delegate your entire in basket, you can highlight everything, right? Right click and reassign the item. And it will go to whomever you assign it to. All right. Okay, so another thing from a management perspective, if you know, for example, that someone is out, going to be out, or all of a sudden is not at work, you can go in here to manage roles and manage the roles. So here you can say, you know what, my legal officers, I need, in my legal officers, I have Michelle and Vanessa. Michelle is not going to be here today, or Vanessa, or you know what, I need to add, sorry, I see anybody in here. Okay, so for here, research officer, I'm going to have to take Paul or Christina and have Paul or Christina act as a legal officer. Okay, that might never happen. But let's say Paul or Christina act as a competition analyst, or, somebody act for somebody else. You can go in here and you can change the roles around, or you can add somebody else to legal officer. So here you can go in and you can add somebody else in here. So you say, you know what, Michelle is not going to be here. Vanessa, let me add somebody else to this role. So I go in here and add, I select, say Paul, if I wanted to add Paul, I select Paul, I search, Paul is there. I add Paul, and now Paul can act as a legal officer. or you know that the legal secretary is not there today, or we have nobody in there right now. Senior legal counsel is going to be absent. I need to put in somebody else to act as senior legal counsel. Let's suppose we had to put Michelle in here, you know, it's an emergency. We put in Michelle. And you go in here and you select Michelle. Okay, so just for today, we're adding Michelle to here. We add Michelle, and now Michelle can act in the capacity of senior legal counsel. And of course, you can click here and remove as needs be. Yeah, and here, remove Paul as needs be. So this is giving the managers, affording the managers the option to be flexible in assigning roles and responsibilities to different officers depending upon the exigencies of the day. All right, so I'm going to cancel here. And now I'm going to show you audit trails, searching, and creating packages. So give me 1 minute. All right. I don't know if you can start thinking up some questions. We will just have about 10 minutes more or so. And so I'll be back in a minute, okay?
Okay.
Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. Okay, so now we're going to show you how to perform, how to look at audit trails, case history, and how to create a package and do some standard and ad hoc searching. All right. So first we're going to look at the audit trails. So we're going to open here, open the case, right? And to get to the audit trail, you can either click on here, but this is the case number, and this takes you straight to the audit trail. So if you click here, it takes you straight to the audit trail of this document. And the audit trail is a complete insight into the entire case, all right? So if you click here, you will see all the documents that were added to the case in here, date and time, right? You click here, you can see all the activities that transpired on the case, date and time. And you can see here, for example, when the case was launching, case screening, technical staff meeting, case closure waiting, investigation waiting, all of these, meaning that these have not happened, right? You click on case history, it gives you a full history of what transpired in the case, right? Meaning that even me selecting to proceed to out of office, the comment that I just did, which was the last activity on the case, all right? Now, if you click here, or when you click here rather, this maximizes the view of each task on the case and what transpired at each step of the case. So here you can see when the case was launched, when the case originated, through case assessment, there were a number of documents filed during case assessment, case screening, technical staff meeting, and you can see here is that investigation milestone 1. That's where we reached in the case. If you expand here, you'll get further details on what transpired if there were any activities, and you'll see once you expand here, if there's anything more that transpired at these stages. So here you can see case screening, you can see was submitted to supervisor for review by M. Phillips, and the supervisor sent back feedback. So it's a full audit trail as what transpired on the case, right? You had a technical staff meeting, proceed to investigations. It tells you date and time and everything, right? Now, here, if you click on it, it will tell you who added what, who did what, and when. Okay, who did what here, event was done, and when, for each one, right? It shows you who uploaded it, if there were documents uploaded, or what was done at this step. The response button that was selected, date and time, of everything. So here you can see going across a full timeline as to what happened across this case and what was uploaded or not, what was done, yeah? At what time. And you can also, if I go back to here, if you wanted now to actually, let's suppose this case was closed and you wanted to package everything in this case. You wanted to package in a PDF, everything that was done in this case, so that you can either file it electronically or share it with legal officer or research department, et cetera, et cetera. You can click here and click create package.
Thanks. No problem.
Right. So you can click create package. When you click create package, you have the option to include all the case properties or not. Somebody has to put themselves on mute. Somebody's not on mute. So we're hearing you. Okay, so here you can actually include in the package all the case properties that you want included or not. So if you say, I want all the case properties included except the investigation program, you can just deselect this, right? Or you can select them all. And the documents, if you wanted all the documents to be included or not. So if you want, I want all the documents included, click case documents, all the documents included, and then you go next. And then here, if there were case relationships, they would show up. There are no case relationships, relationship with other cases. Here you can click, you want to add the stages, you wanted to add the case history, you want to add everything, all the comments to the case, you wanted to add it. The case comments, the document comments, the task comments, work item comments, you want all of that added to the package. So this is a full comprehensive PDF of everything, package of everything. Here, you can put the title. So this is say Joe Brown versus Jill Brown. Right? That's the title. The subject is litigation, right? Or for litigation brief. The author would be, let's say, any keywords, no, and create package. When you create the package is actually stored in the case. The package is actually stored in the case, right? And you can actually preview the package. And you can actually preview the package, download the package, or share the package, right? Right, hang on a second. Probably take a little while to create. And the package, the entire package of the process will be stored. Let me go back to here. Here we go. So I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to preview it. It's stored in the documents in the case. And you can see here, it's actually stored in the, as a zip file. And I can now show you that. I can open that. Right? I can, it will be downloaded on your system. I can open it. So right click and download. Let me download it. And I can open it for you, and you can see here what was submitted. Hang on. So whilst I'm going to find that document, any questions?
No questions so far.
So just to be clear, you're waiting to open the document, the download package document. That's what we're waiting on now.
Yes, I'm going to open it for you, right? Let me preview it for you. Open. And here you can see this is what you just packaged, what we had just packaged. So it creates an automatic table of contents with all the properties, and it shows you all the properties in the case here. And you could have deleted what you wanted and included what you wanted, right? Everything here in the case, everything to do with the case, every single thing here, everything that transpired on the case, right? This is our test user. That's why you'd see it coming up like that, but you would have the actual names of the users, and you can see what happened here. As well as, not only that, you'll see all the documents in the case. So any documents that were associated with the case screening report, all the documents will be there in the case.
Okay, so I have one question, Elaine, if it's okay. The document you just showed us, it will be more like for, I don't know, audit purposes, the way it's presented.
You can use it for any purpose. So normally, right, in the paper-based world, a lot of people like to print off documents after they process it and put it in a case file to archive it with a paper-based mindset. But this is if you want to be able to export all the documents and all the properties associated with a case, to have a transcript of that case in a digital version, you can do that. And this can be used for auditing. This can be used for legal. This can be shared with research. This can be, you can use this as a transcript of that case for any purpose whatsoever. And you can, when you create the package, you can create what aspects of the package you want to store as a PDF. So if you just wanted the documents with the properties on the informant, respondent, and case details, that's it. You don't want anything, all the other details with respect to the milestones and stuff like that, you can do that. So the extent of the package you create would inform the purpose, or the purpose would inform the extent of the package that you want to create. So you can
Okay.
use.
Sorry, for my purpose, could you just go and do that simple one again with the three things you mentioned? Informant, respondent, and details. I just need to see the technical things that are included in the downloaded PDF.
So this is, so let me distinguish between, you can download at any point in time all the documents associated with a case. So this is really packaging a case, packaging all the case properties and the case documents as required. But at any point in time, you can download documents from a case, right? You follow the distinction, right? Okay, let me see.
Sure.
Do you have any case? I can switch. So in order to do that again, I'm going to, okay, let me just go back to that case. So hold on. It was here. Oh, there you go. So now if I want to create a package, so this is the same case, right? This is the same case here. I'm going to create a package. Create package. And here you can say, okay, let me move this around. I want to have case, let's go here, investigation status, milestone, deadline program, respondent here. So what you want is the particulars on the respondent. So let's remove here. So all you want here is hold on. I just want the informant parish, informant details. So you can specifically put what informant details you want here. Informant name, respondent company.
And the case details.
Let's see the case details. You might want to put, let's suppose you put that, right? Okay, respondent contact, respondent ID, case validity. So you can put whatever information you want from the case detail, right? Comments and findings, if there's a breach, if the case had merit.
Okay, fine. Okay.
Synopsis.
Okay, that's it. Let me see. I don't want it too long. I just want to see
Yeah.
level of reporting. Let me just see
So you can
what
go,
it looks like now.
yeah, so you can put in only that, right? You don't need to put in anything else. And
No,
then,
nothing else.
right. And then down here, you say, I want to put in the documents, the complaint documents that were in here, any internal reports. So here in the internal reports, you have, you may have stuff inside of here. Let's see if we put in any stuff in case screening. So there's a case screening report in here, right? There is investigation milestone report, right? So we have investigation milestone report, we have case screening reports in here. So you can elect to choose what documents you want to be added to the package. You might just, let's suppose it was only the case screening report. Case screening report or milestone report or whatever it is that you wanted. You can elect to choose whatever document that you want in here to be added, or if you wanted all the documents to be added, whatever documents that were added to the case, right? Let me scroll down here. I believe I have some documents on the root. If I scroll down here, yeah. So I have some documents on the root here. So I just want all these documents here. This is the package that was created. This here, and this. That's it. These are the only three documents I want added. And I go next. And then do I want the case stages to be added? So what stage is this case evolved to? Okay, let's do that. Do I want to put all the case history? No. Any case comments? So you know what? Okay, I'll put in all the case comments. And I click start. There you go. Next. From here, I'll put in the title. So let's suppose, okay, test 1, 2, 3, right? Here this is audit for the training. Let's just see author. Right? Okay. and I go create package. Let me put key, yeah, let me just create package, create package. And the package is created. So now when I go in here, if I go into documents, right, it will be in here. I'll have to scroll to see where it is. This one here, the second one, 117, right? So if I right click here and I preview this, this is one we just created. I preview this. It'll take a little time to preview. If it's in a zip, it'll just show me the zip, right? This will just show the zip. So if I go back to here, include this, and I can go and I can download this, I can right click, I can download, I can send it via email. So if I needed to send this to research or legal, I can send this as an attachment straight from here to legal, right? Or also, if you wanted to send, and this is very important, this is an extremely important feature. If I don't want to send a document because I have redacted certain aspects of the document, or I think this document is confidential, and I just want to be able to send the link to the document, I can send it as a link so that anybody who has access to the document has to log in order to open the document. So instead of sending it as an attachment, I send it as a link. Or if I wanted to view the link of the document, so if I'm sharing this document, I can actually send the link alone via email. Or if I really wanted to send not this document, but a different version of this document, this is generally speaking, I can go in here and select the specific version of the document that I want to send, right? Anyway, let me close here and we're going to download. So right click, download, and there it is. Let me go to here and refresh.
And while you're waiting, will there also be a trail to see which user created a package and printed when? Do you have a trail for that?
That's right. Excellent question. So hold on. So here it is again, right? This is what's created. After you can see it's smaller, right? Less information or much less information. And you can see the informant parish, whatever, informant, name, respondent, etc., when it was created, and basically only what we selected, right? Yeah. And so now your question is, is there an audit trail of this? You know what I mean? Is there an audit trail of the audit trailers? So here we go. We go back to wherever we were, and that's an excellent question. So now I can go here. And I can, sorry, let me go back to where it was. I should be able to go on the case history. And on the case history, I can see this was created. The package was created by M. Phillips at 117, and a package was also created at 107 by N. Phillips. So you can see it shows in the case history what was done. If I go into case activities, I can see, well, the case history would show you that it was done, just done. Yeah. Any more questions on that?
No, thank you.
Last but not least, I'm going to show you, for example, how to search and retrieve and look at cases. So for example, if I wanted to see all the cases, so you have to, in order to do that, let me slow down. Here, this is my work. This is work. So you get all your in-basket items here. And here, this is all the cases. In order to perform searches, to find cases, you have to click on this menu item here. So every user has these two items, your work item and your cases. So in order to search for cases, you click on the cases and you have a multiplicity of parameters to search for and get reports on. So this is a whole drop down here. All right. So we're not going to get too complicated at this stage. So I'm going to show you something simple. If you wanted to see all the cases that were added on today, all the cases that were launched today, you can do a search and see all the cases that were launched today, right? If you wanted to see all the cases launched, who were added by whom, for example, added by, I think we only have the administrator, so it won't show up. So let me see if I added by, I don't think we might have, none is going to show up because we only added by one person. Or you can see by department, by breach category, by section, by any criteria, you can search here. Now, that's only a one parameter search. But if you wanted to know, if you wanted to do an advanced search, so say, for example, all the case types that came in for the competition matters, and between, let's see, September 1 and today, current, and you wanted to know who launched it, or the assigned department, or by the breach category, or let's see, by breach status, breach identified, right? And by if the case had merit, let's just see, case had merit, let's just see. So all the cases for September thus far, where breach was identified and the case had merit. Let's do a search. And you can see here that there were a number of cases, all of these, this is in our test environment, showing you, there were 22 cases, right? 22 cases, right? And it's showing you all these criteria here that the breach identified, that yes, the case had merit, that case type was competition matters, the date it was created, the case origination, if it was paper submission, email, or portal, the type of submission, if it was competition complaints, or if it was a request or whatever, the date received, the respondent name, the informant name, and when it was modified. So, and that's just a simple multifaceted search. You can search on any combination of parameters to search for ad hoc and retrieve whatever you want to retrieve. So you can go down here where there was comments and findings, where the commission decision was recommended, approved, or not. Right? Well, let's suppose we did that. Commission decision, recommendations approved. So the same case where the commission approved the recommendations is to search. And you can see that now it's gone down to 13 items, right? Because of all these cases that were launched this month, 13 of them had a commission decision. And you can still see that where it originated, et cetera, right? And then if we wanted to modify this even further, I'm just using the same case. You can search this by any other parameter that you want, right? For example, if you wanted to do the type of decision, so do we have commission decision, recommendations approved, outcome, course of action? This, so suppose we wanted to do this by consent agreement only, right? This by consent agreement. So we want to see all the cases in this month where it was approved and it was for consent agreement. Say, okay, and we search. Then here now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For 5 of them, say where it was, the case had the breach was identified, the case had merit, commission decision, the course of action, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then you can qualify and further down where say the case is closed, right? Let's see where the case now is, and those where these parameters, and now the case is, let's say the case is closed. Right? Let's go for case status here, and then we go with the case is case closed, right? And then we go search, and then we have 1. So only 1 of them was actually closed, right? So out of all the 22 cases that was on consent agreement, where the commission approved, and then we have it was closed. So it was open, and the date it would be closed. Date closed the 13th of September, and the date open would have been the 13th of September, the same thing. All right. So that is how you can do searches to retrieve on any type of ad hoc criteria. You use this facility, and that is how you do case searches and reporting. So that, in essence, is today's session. So if you have your questions, you can ask them now. The floor is open for questions. Feedback. And any other feedback. And you can complete your feedback forms if you have it. But and you can unmute your mics because we're not hearing you. And if you have any questions, do ask.
So Elena, the feedback form, just need to fill it out and send it to you later.
Yeah, you can fill it out and you can send it later. Yeah, yes, you can. But any questions so far in terms of was it clear? I think there's quite a lot of functionalities you can see. Just your thoughts, you know, anything.
From a technical point, it was clear. So I really don't have much questions. Those techies can navigate the system. So I don't really have much questions so far.
Okay. So technical users as in technical in terms of your specific area, of course.
Technical in terms of IT.
I know that, Sean, but I mean, now I'm speaking to the users in terms of the technical in their areas. So for example, economists, legal, research, any feedback? I know you have a legacy platform. I'm not sure if you're currently using it or not, but how do you think this system can add value to your current process?
Okay, well, the system significant value over the legacy system. It more reflects our day-to-day operation in terms of the flow, and also added plus the ability to not only to keep up with work that you're doing. It provides a good central location where your supervisors can go in and observe what's being done. So apart from any, I don't know whether, sometimes technology goes awry in terms of resources or how slow or fast it will be, or storage issues. I don't know any about that, but the functionality is great and looks good.
Right, thank you, Marcel. Oh, it's Kevin or Marcel? It's Kevin. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Kevin. Anything else? So, Mr. Miller.
Yes, Elena.
Yes, sir.
I have no comments at this time. I want to go through the other interfaces, the other two training sessions, and then consult with my team. And there will be some adjustments that we'll ask of you.
Okay. Sure. Okay, anybody else? Well, if not, thank you all very much. We will await feedback, right? The forms and the similar, if you have any, like you said, you will liaise with the other team members upon the conclusion of the entire training. You come back to us with some changes or updates or edits, and we welcome feedback for changes now. All right, so thank you all very much.
Thank you very much, Elena.
Thank you. Okay, bye-bye.